Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television GPTV. I'm Brett. We've got an interesting review today. It's the Maze Runner, the Death Cure Prelude comic book. You know, the prelude to the film that's going to be in theaters this weekend. Now, 20th Century Fox and Boom Studios has hooked us up with a DVD of the first two films and the trade paperback that collects a whole bunch of stories in the Maze Runner universe. Obviously, with the Blu-ray DVD with the plastic still on it, I haven't watched it yet because I wanted to go and see what I thought about this trade paperback before actually watching the films. Basically, could I go in and read this and enjoy it without really knowing anything about the Maze Runner? Going into this, basically I knew it was a YA novel, it had something to do with mazes and running in like a dystopian world. That's about it. And there was two films with a third one coming out. That's about what you got. So I really know nothing going into this. So it's based off of novels by James Dashner. And there's a few stories in here. There's actually three total. So there's the Maze Runner Death Cure comic Prelude. That's written by Eric Carrasco, illustrated by Kendall, Goode, colors by Valentina, Pinto, letters by Jim Campbell. And then there's the Maze Runner Scorch Trials. That's got two stories. The Zealot, which is by Wes Ball, T.S. Nowlin, Jackson Lanzing, illustrated by Nick Robles, with colors by Juan, Manuel, Tumburus, and lettered by Jim Campbell. And then A Father of Three, written by Collin Kelly, illustrated by Nick Robles, colors by Juan Manuel Tumburus, and then and letters by Jim Campbell. Alright, so I will just outright, I have no idea what the hell is going on in this. There's like faction fighting this corporate folks, I think, and there's this disease that's being tried to be cured, and being cured has something to do with running through mazes. Like, I have no idea what is going on. It's never really explained in any of the stories for the most part. So if you really need to know the world in the background, this is definitely not for you. I will admit I was pretty lost through a good chunk of this, which is fine. I mean, this is a prelude to the films. It's geared towards fans of Maze Runner. I have not read it, so I'm not the audience, and I totally accept and realize I'm not the audience. So, as something to like hook someone into and get them into the Maze Runner is definitely not it. This is one for the fans of the film and the book series. And other than that, alright, so the main story, which is the prelude to the new film, the story's okay. It's, the art, well, I'll show the art a little bit. It's kind of shoddy. It's not really my style. I think it was a little uneven. The story basically is them, like, trying to get somebody back and attack some facility, basically, and something with, like, a base, and I don't know. That's about everything I got. You know, there were some good moments with some, like, good relationship moments. There's some cool, like, concepts, I thought. I mean, obviously they're part of the book and the films and all that. But other than that, like, it didn't quite hook me. There's also this lot of jumping back and forth between, like, the present and the past, and it never quite really clicked for me as to why I should care about the past and the present, and yeah, so it wasn't very good, is what I'm kind of getting at. I mean, maybe if you're a fan of the Maze Runner, then you will dig it a lot more than me. I kind of want to show off a little bit of the art. So this is some of it. So that's some of the past stuff. Trying to find some of the stuff that I'm like a little on as far as art, because there's definitely like some art that is a little bit. It was like, okay, so like this is a good example. We've got the panel here that like drops some of the details with like the design of characters, but then over here we get, you know, similar like depth and all that, and it just feels like there is, yeah, like this one, it feels like there's just a little bit more detail in the characters. It's kind of weird. It's just, if you told me it was the same person doing both things, I would be a little shocked. It just doesn't, to me, look like the same characters. And then you kind of got like things like this, which just has like no detail, and it looks like someone just kind of sketched things out and wasn't finished. I think that's part of it. A lot of the art doesn't feel like it's finished, is part of my issue. So that's a little disappointing. However, the two stories, which I guess go with the last film, are actually pretty decent. You know, the first one, let me get the titles right. The first one, The Zealot, seems to be about like one of the doctors who like wipes her brain or something like that to go and infiltrate or something. Whatever. That story was actually interesting. You didn't need to know anything about the Maze Runner. It was just really cool, interesting concept. The second story, though, not Death Cure, Father of Three, was about a guy who's, like, him and his family are trying to survive in this zombie world. I think they're zombies. And that one's actually really good. So, interesting enough, the final one out of 3 is actually really solid, and that I actually recommend reading. If you can find it somewhere, maybe not in here, this is only $14.99. But if you can find it like digitally online, that one would be awesome to get just as a chapter by itself. You don't need to know anything about the Maze Runner at all. It's just actually just a good, like, familial family story in a zombie apocalypse. You could have thrown it in The Walking Dead and it would still make sense and still be really good. So it's a little bit more generic. However, I think it's actually better in a lot of ways, partially because you don't need to know jack about anything of the series. The art for both of those is very different, different artists, and I think it's also way better. Show off a little bit of the art on that. I actually think the art for that is pretty solid. So, and we'll go with another. There we go. It's another page from the first art. So that one I actually really, really enjoy. So overall, basically, I feel like if you are a fan of Maze Runner, go for it. I think this is one that's probably, if you like the movies, if you like the books, you're going to enjoy this. If you are looking to get into that world, probably go and either watch the first film or read the first book. That's going to be the better option. But, if you want to dive in, again, Fox hooked us up with this. This is a double DVD or Blu-ray of the Maze Runner. It's got the first 2 films, so that's out in stores now, so you can get caught up. And then afterwards, maybe this trade paperback will make a little bit more sense. Nevertheless, I want to thank Boom Studios and 20th Century Fox for hooking us up with both of these. Sorry, not the most enthusiastic review, but, what can you do? With the graphic novel, the trade paperback, you can go get that in comic book shops. That's definitely in shops now. You should go first and support your comic book shops. There is a link underneath this. You put in your zip code, it'll tell you if the shop's near you. If there's no shop near you, we got some affiliate links beneath this video. They're affiliate links, so we do get a small percentage of that, but by doing that, you help support our site, so thanks for that. Other than that, like if you're into comic books, if you're into Boom Studios got some fantastic comics out there. Fence is amazing. Of course, Venture Time, Goldie Vance. Like, Boom's got some awesome Mech Cadet U. If you're really into sci-fi, check out Mech Cadet U by Greg Pak. It is awesome. That's a favorite series of mine. But yeah, so if you're into comics in general, check us out every single day at graphicpolicy.com. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, all at Graphic Policy. We keep it nice and consistent. As always, thanks so much for watching. Until next time, keep reading those comics and keep it geeky. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.